We I think the weather is here for good. I'm in Idaho, Boise right now, and it is beautiful today. Well, mid 70s. I've been out exposing as much skin as I can to vitamin D. You can get vitamin D through your eyes too. So I don't wear a lot of sunglasses, um, as much as I used to. I mean, there are times I use it for hiking and things. Anyway, thought I'd check in. Spring is sprung. We hope. If not, I'm going south anyway. This video is going to be about my spirituality, just my little journey. I've been asked a few times by people. So basically, I was born and raised Catholic. My mom's from Ireland. She came over here in her 20s, immigrated, and Irish Catholic. It doesn't get any any better than that. However you look at it. I do have a middle brother who's a priest, a Catholic priest. He's one of the good ones. He's teaches seminary students now, but he's been living in monasteries and he's done a bunch of stuff. We could have been Muslim, Jewish, whatever, and he would have always gone down that path. And I've always been spiritual my whole life, but even for me, I just never fit into the Catholic Church, into organized religion. Even when I was a kid, I remember that. I distinctly remembering I've always been sort of a rebel, and I always question everything, and I always had a problem. And I'm talking all walks of life that's got me in trouble, but I'm specifically talking religion right now and spirituality. I had a problem with people in the pulpit telling me how to live my life who've never lived that life. That was just me. I'm not saying that's wrong. So, I've talked before that I've gone out between my Hollywood days and all my partying days. I walked in many, many shoes because I want to find out what it's like. And I learned. So a lot of it cost me a lot of heartache and trouble, but I learned through it. So I had an issue with that, and I just never felt right in an organized religion. For me, the Catholic Church, I just never did. Though I did all the stuff. I was in CYO, the altar boy, all that sort of stuff, mostly to keep my mom happy. And I never really got much out of it. And again, I want to make this very clear because I have a lot of good Catholic friends instead of, and my brother who's a priest. I'm not denigrating the church. It just didn't work for me, and that was that. And so it was a early age that it just, I would go because I kind of had to in high school. And as soon as I got out of high school and went to college, that was it. I was done with organized religion. I'll never forget when I moved to Los Angeles. The first 6 months I was there, I actually found a group that met that was called Catholics Anonymous, and it was basically a bunch of Catholics sitting around trying to talk about our guilt. And that can go for many other religions as well. But for me, my spiritual path, once I left an organized religion and started working outside the box, and for me, my path has always accelerated, always done best. I've always learned the most when I stepped outside of any sort of box that I felt I was constricted in. Once I started doing that, well, what I did is I started exploring all other religions. I dated a Jewish woman a long time in a longer relationship in my life, so I learned about the Jewish religion. I dated Muslim women. I went to Southern Baptist churches. I went to all of them, a lot of it. I studied a lot of Eastern religions, and I found out one thing for me that happened through all the religions. They had one common denominator, was the golden rule, and treat each other as you would treat yourself, right? The golden rule. And being a service. So I figured a long time ago, I didn't need a third party, a organized religion to have my direct connection with whatever you want to call it, my God, higher power, universe, whatever it was. So that started leading me down a path that, and then when I got sober about 17 years ago, 16, and that my connection to my spiritual, to God, became stronger than it ever did. And to this day, it just gets stronger and stronger every day. It's a peace and a bliss I can't even describe. And I did this all on my own with tools I had learned, meditation and prayer, and I learned a lot of things along the way. It all ties in, and I realized that number one, everyone talks about it, but we are all one, and sometimes religion tends to divide us. We are the right religion. Yours is not right. We're going to see God, you're not going to see God. And that was a big problem I always had too. One of the many problems, issues I had with organized religion. Once I sort of was able to see a bigger perspective on things and understand and had a knowing, I guess is the word, because especially when I got sober, I had an awakening, a big awakening, and I've had these levels of awakening and spiritual awakening all along the way. I realize we all are one. All of us, every single one of us are one, and we're connected. And there are powers that be. And I'm generalizing here again. I'm not denigrating anyone's certain religion, but there are powers that be in organized religions that tend to try to separate us and judge, and some of the nasty things that come along with organized religions and regular life and regular spiritual people too. But for me, it worked because then I was outside of a box and I really started to understand old, and as I was exploring old like healing techniques, and I was healing myself and learning about yoga and meditation and Reiki and all these ancient, and I've been in martial arts my whole life. It just became this perspective of an understanding we are all connected. Everything is connected. It's all vibrational. It's all it's just we're all connected and we're all one. We're all part of this, and it brought me to a new level of understanding that I can't put into words. And it's hours and hours of conversations, but for me it worked, and it continues to work. And I run into people right and left. There's still to this day a lot of people scoff when you say you're spiritual, but it's becoming more and more and more and more. There are people, you just look at statistics and studies, leaving organized religion in droves because they felt that they're just not being listened to anymore. They can't find that connection, and it gets real political and all that sort of thing. So the peace for me comes from my direct connection with my higher power, with God. Um, and I do a lot of praying, a lot of meditation, and it's so clear now to me. I get direct results without all the rules and regulations, and I understand a lot. Now, this is a long journey, and it continues to this day. But one of my favorite quotes I learned a long time ago, I started to get meaning out of things, a lot of meaning, deep meanings, years ago, is what's the difference between prayer and meditation? Prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening to God. Big difference there. And when you start actually listening and maybe not talking all the time, amazing things will happen. So for me, that worked, but that goes into how I live my life too. I live by the golden rule. I live to be of service. I travel the country. I've talked about this. I help people where I can. I don't even charge money anymore. Occasional clients come in that I take money, but my mission now is, and I'm not trying to paint myself as some sort of saint here, but this is what I've been doing for years, is to teach people what I've discovered, what I call my truth. So whatever level it is that people are interested in, and whether that's the nutrition, holistic nutrition I teach, whether it's all to the far out woo woo, the metaphysical from yoga to meditation to energy healing um, to other paradigms that I've talked about, from the COVID thing of seeing my truth to what's truly happening in politics and what's truly happening in a lot of things, not what we have been told, but what's really happening. Anyone that's willing to want to learn or to listen, I'm there for them, and that's what I do. And that's so we all find our path. I guess my big point here is that's a little bit of my journey, but it worked for me because, especially when I got sober, I there was a point in my life where I was at my darkest. I had a gun in my mouth, um, very suicidal, and I had no choice. I had two choices, life or death, and I chose life because I knew I still had things to do on this planet, and that accelerated my awakening and spiritual progress, and it continues to this day. And it's just unfathomable, the peace, the bliss, the perspective I see now that I can't it's you can't even put into words. But um no matter what you believe in, whether you're a practicing Catholic, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Jewish, adhere to the religion. Use that golden rule. Try to get away from all the really rules and regulations, and understand that we are one, and we need to help each other, especially in these times. Rise up. Strangers helping strangers from all walks of life. We all need to come together. That's always been my running theme. So quit putting the walls up and trying to separate everybody, because we all are one. And we need to come together and find your path. Find your path that works for you. And if you find a true spiritual path, whether that's through religion or through anything, then you'll understand and start coming together. Talk to you soon. Bye.